Hello everyone, and welcome back to the series where I take a card out of the Granny Square Stitches card deck every week and we work it up together. This week we are up to this one, card number 31, called Mountains. So, reading all the words. To work the square shown on the card, make 14 chain and follow chart, working in 2 row stripes of yarns A through D until square, ending on a row 3. And then we do our single crochet edging, which we've been doing for 30 weeks. To work the stitch pattern any size, your starting chain needs to be a multiple of 3, and then you add 2. And then you follow the chart. Okay, so looking at the chart, it is very unique. So, okay, we're starting with our chain, and then we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then every stitch all the way down the chain. And then we chain 1, we single crochet in that first stitch. Then we're going to chain 3, and we're going to single crochet in the second chain, half double crochet in the third chain, and then double crochet into the single crochet. And then we skip 2 stitches and single crochet into the third stitch to kind of lock this formation in place. And then we repeat that. We chain 3, we single crochet in the second chain from our hook, half double crochet in the third chain from our hook, double crochet into the single crochet that we made. Skip the next few stitches and lock it down with a single crochet. This all probably sounds very confusing, but I think once we get going, it's going to make a lot of sense. Let's talk colors. So I don't have exactly the colors that they have on the cards, but I think you all know that by now. So I have pulled in some colors of Anthem. Sorry about that. Let's get that in focus. Got Lemon Ice. What is this? Pink Pearl. Or is that Peach Pink? No, it's Peach Pink. Sorry. Lemon Ice, Peach Pink, Agate Green, and Dark Denim. Okay, and it looks like we are starting with the orange on the card, which is this Peach Pink. And we need a chain of 14. Okay, there's my 14 chains. Now I've got a couple of stitch markers ready to go. So I'm going to turn my chain over. I like to work into my back bumps. I'm going to skip that first chain, so that first bump right at the base of my hook, and into that second chain I am going to do a single crochet, and I am going to put my first stitch marker in that single crochet stitch, so just under the V of the single crochet. Now I'm going to single crochet in every bump all the way to the end, so every chain, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, this is my last chain, so I'm going to go single crochet into that, chain 1, turn my work, and I'm going to start with a single crochet. So I'm going to make that single crochet, and then I'm going to put my stitch marker into that stitch as well. So now we get to the chart, which looks a little confusing, but we're just going to take it slow. So I've just done this single crochet. So now I'm going to chain 3, and we're going to be working back into the chain. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So the chain right beneath my hook doesn't count. And again, I'm going to work into the back bumps. So that first bump doesn't count. We're going to work into this bump. We're going to put a single crochet. We're going to work into the next bump with a half double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over and insert, pull up a loop, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And now we need to work into our double crochet. And I think for the purpose of this, we're going to work kind of into the side. So, because otherwise, yeah, otherwise it's just going to get confusing. So if I move it, I'm just going to pull up a big loop. If I hold this so that you can see the side of my single crochet, there are 2 legs of the single crochet on the side. I can't tell if that's in focus or not. That's where I'm going to put my hook. So to make a double crochet, we yarn over first, and then I'm going to come down. This is where my single crochet is, but I'm going to come down to the side. I'm going to go under those 2 legs, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's this is what's making the mountains. Then I'm going to come down to my row below. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and in this 3rd stitch, I'm going to single crochet. And that locks it down, so now you have this triangle shape. So we're going to repeat that again. I'm going to chain 3. I'm skipping that first chain. I'm going to single crochet in the next, half double crochet in the next chain, and then I'm going to double crochet into the side of my single crochet. Skip 2 stitches, single crochet in that 3rd stitch to lock your little mountain down. Repeat one more time. Single crochet in the 2nd chain, half double crochet in the next chain, and then double crochet into the side of my single crochet. Skip 2 stitches and single crochet. I'm going to do it one more time. So chain 3, find my back bumps. I'm going to single crochet in that 2nd chain from my hook, 2nd bump, half double crochet in the next, and then double crochet into the side of my single crochet, skip 2 stitches. So my last stitch is where my stitch marker is, and I'm going to single crochet in that stitch. And I also need to change color in that stitch. Our next color is the green. So I've insert into my single crochet and I've pulled up a loop. So now I'm going to just do my little trick of draping my old color over my hook before the new color, and then pulling through with a new color and sneaking a peek ahead. It looks like we chain 3. So I'm going to do that, replace my stitch marker, and then we can take a look at what we have. So that's our little mountain range in orange. There is no point in me trying to carry this yarn all the way up the side, so I'm going to cut my orange off now. If we look at the card, it looks like I do get to do one more band of orange, but it's pretty far up, so I'm not going to bother carrying the yarn up the side. Okay, let's look at our next couple of rows. So we are here. I've just chained 3. Now I put a stitch marker in there. It looks like we are not stitching into there, but I'm going to keep it there anyways. We are going to double crochet into the single crochet, our last stitch. So this chain 3 is not counting for anything. It's just going to hang out there. So I might move my stitch marker once I've made my double crochet, and I'll put it into the double crochet, because see, we are going to put a single crochet on top of that double crochet. So I'm going to double crochet into my my single crochet, And then I'm going to single crochet into the chain at the top of my mountain. And then I'm going to put a double crochet two together. No, that's wrong. I'm going to put a double crochet V-stitch into the next single crochet. So we kind of skip over the mountain. Single crochet on top of the mountain, V-stitch into the valley. We'll call it that. All the way to the end. At the end, I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to single crochet in each stitch all the way back. And then change color. So let's work that together. So I'm going to turn my work. I'm actually going to take this stitch marker out. Now that I know that I'm not going to be working into that chain, I can take it out and put it into the stitch where we are going to be working into. So this chain 3 doesn't count for anything. It's just going to hang out there on the side, but I'm going to double crochet in that stitch at the base of the chain 3, that single crochet from the row below. So I've yarned over, I'm going to insert into that stitch and complete my double crochet. And now I can put my stitch marker back in that spot. So now we're going to come over to our mountain, and we've got the single crochet there, and we've got the chain here. So we actually want to find the chain. It's going to be tight. If I had looked ahead, I might have made my chain a little looser. There we go. And I'm going to single crochet in that chain, and then I'm going to find the single crochet at the base of my mountain, which is right here. And I'm going to put a double crochet V-stitch in there. So you yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you do that again right in the same spot. There's no chaining in between your double crochets. It's just 2 double crochets in the same spot. Then we're going to come to the top of our V. We're going to find that last chain, and we're going to single crochet into it, and then put 2 double crochets at the base of that valley, and then repeat. We've reached our last mountain, so I'm going to put a single crochet on the top of this mountain. Oops. And then one last sort of V-stitch. It's not really a true V-stitch, I guess, because there's no chain in between these. But 2 double crochets into this single crochet, and that's what we have. So we are here on the card, and now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into every stitch all the way across. So we should still have 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. When we get to the end, we need to change color again. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Oops. I'm going to single crochet in that first stitch and replace my stitch marker. And then single crochet in every stitch. So there's no chains from that row. Everything has a nice defined stitch. So it's pretty easy. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm here at my last stitch, my stitch marker. I'm going to take my stitch marker out and start my single crochet. And the next color is our yellow. So I'm going to get my yellow, drape that over my hook, pull that through. This time I don't chain 3. So before I do anything, let's take a look at the card. We are here. I have just added the yellow, so I need to chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet in every stitch all the way to the end, and then we're going to repeat our row 2 here with the mountains. So I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to cut off my green, turn my work, and we're single crocheting in every stitch across. So I'm going to replace my stitch marker in that first single crochet, and then I will meet you at the end and we'll work one more row of these mountains together, and then I'll let you go to finish off the pattern. I'm in my last stitch, so I single crochet, I chain 1, I turn my work, I single crochet back into that first stitch, and I'm going to replace my stitch marker. Now we're going to make mountains. So I'm going to chain 3, single crochet into the second chain from my hook, half double crochet in the next chain, and then double crochet into the side of my single crochet. Skip 2 stitches, single crochet in the next, and repeat. Chain 3, single crochet in the second chain from the hook, half double crochet in the next chain, double crochet into the side of my single crochet, skip 2, and single crochet. Keep repeating that all the way down, and then you're going to change color to your next color. For me, it's the dark denim, and repeat over and over until it's square. So if we look at the card, I'm currently making these yellow peaks, then we're going to do some dark blue valleys, go back to the orange, make some orange mountains, go back to the green, and we're going to do that one row of like valleys. So that's our row 3, and then we will tie off, weave in all our ends, and do our border. See you then. Okay, I might have gotten a little bit carried away and just kept going and finished that last row. So that's this sort of top little row that you see there. So now it's time to put our border on, and we're going to go back to the yellow. So now take a look at your square, and it doesn't totally matter. Technically, this is the right side. I can tell by how my single crochets look across the bottom. I did not pay attention to where my starting chain was, but I'm pretty sure that is, yeah, that's my slip knot there. So because I'm right-handed, when my starting chain, my slip knot is on the bottom left, I'm looking at the front side of my work. So I'm going to attach my yarn up here where my stitch marker is. So let's grab my yellow. I'm going to take my stitch marker out. Now we've got like a chain here and then a double crochet. We're just ignoring that chain. I'm going to insert into my double crochet and just pull my yarn through and chain 1. Now I'm going to hold my yellow behind my work and sort of work over it, at least for the first few stitches, and then I can sew that end in properly later. So I've got a chain. I'm going to go in with a single crochet, making sure to catch that yellow yarn underneath as well. And that's the first stitch of my first round. So I'm just going to stick a stitch marker in there. And then the top here is very simple. We've got 13 single crochets. So we're just going to put a single crochet in every stitch. And this is my last stitch. We're just going to take a moment. We should have 13 single crochets across the top. And we do, perfect. So as you can see, I carried the yellow just about 5 stitches across, and then I've left the tail. I'll weave that tail in properly later, but that does give it extra reinforcement. And it also means that I won't necessarily be weaving 2 ends in at the same spot, because I'll end here with my second round and I'll have another tail there. So I can weave that tail in somewhere else. Okay, let's talk about the side. So my first stitch at the side is going to go right in that same spot that I just ended off in. I'm going to do a chain 1 and then go right back into that same space. This is a double crochet row, so we want to have 2 single crochets per double crochet row. So I'll have 1 there, I'll put another one in the side of this double crochet. And then for this one here, we've got 2 single crochet rows together, so each one of those will get a single crochet at the end. I'll probably put one here as well, and then my double crochet will get 2 there. You know what, let's just do it together. We're gonna see what feels good. and then do a final stitch count. So I did my chain 1, and then I went right back into that same space as I turn the corner, and I'm going to put another single crochet in the side of that double crochet, and then I'm going to come into my single crochet row. Whoopsies, let's try that again, and single crochet there. My next row is also a single crochet row. And then I've got a double crochet. You know what? I'm going to come in between those 2 rows. And then I can do 2 for my double crochet. Two for my 2 single crochets. And then I've got another double crochet. And then my last stitch will go into that first stitch on the bottom. Let's see how many we have. That's 13. So that feels pretty good. If you're thinking that you need another stitch, you could put one right here. You know what, I think I will. There just seemed to be like too big of a gap between those 2 stitches. So I'm going to put one here and here. I think I had one there as well. So that should give us 14. 14. That feels better. Okay, so we're gonna repeat that on the other side. Single crochet across the bottom, making sure you single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in every corner, and then you're gonna go around again, sew in all your ends, and I will come back and show you the finished square when I'm done. And there it is, all finished. So that is week number 31, mountains. What are we going to do next week? Next week is this one, which is really pretty looking. It is called Bubbles. So join me next week for Bubbles. See you then.